The biggest thing in the streets is Big Meech is out.
How you feel about that?
I don't feel no kind of way about it.
I think that's dope.
I think I think he gonna get with 50. I think he.
I
Has
was like, what's gonna be crazy if he's in BMF the show?
No.
As himself. It's crazy.
Oh
you gotta remember,
That's
he has a
gonna be
whole
crazy.
other segment he can do. He just did 19 years, right? So the after of him getting caught in the 50 thing, like that's a whole nother script.
How many seasons of BMF are there? I gotta watch
I don't
this
know.
shit.
There's been a grip of them.
But
so
I
far,
think to me, the amazing thing about BMF, think about it, as big as they were in the early 2000s and all that stuff, the fact that you now are telling this story, it amazed me when I be driving down Sunset Boulevard and see buildings that say BMF on it.
Black
legal way,
Mafia
though.
family.
That's what I'm saying. Like literally, they used to have billboards in Atlanta,
Coming out of
Detroit.
Atlanta,
Yeah, yeah.
I thought they was crazy.
Yeah, but
Right.
now the fact that BMF is the biggest drug story ever. The mafia.
That's what I'm saying.
Like the actual real mafia, there's nothing bigger than the actual BMF or even any of these like stories that we get to tell of our culture now because
That's real.
Hip hop has surpassed what gang mafia culture
Yeah,
of
100%.
the Al Capones and all that.
Right,
Like and I always say this, like Puff is probably gonna go down as one of the biggest gangsters.
That's real. That's what they trying to label him as. They said
If
we
we
chose
100
New York.
years from now,
We chose New York because this is where we established the RICO to
Right.
take down the Italian mobsters, and he's a mobster. That's what they said.
And literally,
Yeah.
if you look as earlier on the No Jumper show,
That's what they're saying,
Flacco
yeah.
was trying to make the comparison. This is Flacco's hypothesis, so y'all know, and y'all can respond to it as you choose. He said that within a month of Big Meech getting out, nobody's gonna give a. And this is Flacco's quote, and he said it's gonna be quote unquote just like Boosie. We told him we still give a about Boosie.
Yeah.
That's the first wrong thing you said.
The only thing that ran out was Boosie's like rap hype, which let's be fair, that runs out for like almost everyone.
He was already an older dude.
Not too many people make the best decisions when they come out as rappers. They should get right to it.
Right.
And for whatever reason, they just enjoying their freedom.
They should be like
And they
Gucci
don't-
Mane and drop first day out.
Yeah.
when you-
Gucci
first
just
day out
did it the
feds.
best.
With Boosie, like there's almost nobody that could do views as consistently on their interviews as Boosie, and he has done so many more interviews than almost anybody else in the culture.
Facts.
And Vlad, like, there's a reason why they have the relationship they have, is he is like an invaluable resource when it comes to commentary on the
I
culture.
wish somebody because there's an amount of money that Boosie should be getting because of that.
Right.
That I don't feel like he's tapped all the way into.
Well, he said he's getting $40K per episode.
But
right?
he
the claim.
should be. That's low. He
That's
should be.
low.
If it was on his platform, he'd be getting like. I want to see the Boosie platform because he deserves it.
Boosie having a platform would be sick. Just like I said earlier, Big Meech having a podcast would be sick because
No, hell no.
No,
we
but
said
listen,
no
though,
podcast.
or at least-
it's overexploited.
perhaps
I mean, they got a TV show.
Yeah, how's the TV show any different? Although I
there
agree,
was
he has to be careful to not
TV
burn
show
out
is
himself.
We're watching actors, right?
Right.
A podcast that's really him. Now he has a movie he can
I mean,
do.
the Wolf of Wall Street dude got a podcast.
He got a movie he can do, but the Wolf of Wall Street is what? White guy. He has a movie he can do on BMF, and he has series he can do on
100%,
part two
book
of him.
deals,
The
all
19
that.
years he just did. People want to know what you
Inside.
went through
That's
inside.
it. That's
what I'm
was it
saying,
about?
though.
I wonder what his podcast offers right now look like.
huge.
For sure, there's people trying to put big old bags on the
Again,
table.
he
yeah.
can make a lot of money, and I hope he makes a lot of money just based off of just talking
He got
about
some
the
questions
system.
you need to answer though. Because we
here
got the
you
guy
go.
Cuffy in there.
The exposers.
go.
No, we got the guy Cuffy. Those some real, you gotta, people gonna ask these questions. Because he's
said
on
that.
Cam Capone on Blue Da Vinci's
Blue Da
phone
Vinci.
saying the story. So Cuffy's still in there. And Cuffy, if y'all didn't know, he had the rights first. He
Here's my
him the
question
rights.
though. I mean, because on your street shit, if somebody just did 20,
yeah.
regardless of what they might have said during the indictment and all that, shit, you still went and sat down. That's a life sentence.
No, but see, if you did 20, and because you did something you weren't supposed to do by street code, which said you was probably supposed to do 40, you know what I'm saying? So they're going to look at it like that. So we got to answer those questions because Cuffy's a real guy, right? He had the rights first. And then when all that happened, the lady that crossed
The
him
rights
up
to
ended
what?
up BMF.
Like his story, essentially.
Cuffy, Cuffy
I
had...
see what you're saying.
Yeah.
That was his man.
Right,
Him and Meek
right,
was his
I feel
man,
you.
and then the thing happened with the chick in the middle, and what they saying happened, how it happened with the chick, and the lineup, and all this, right?
When you're talking about the actual company, like the entity BMF or the story.
No, it's a guy named Cuffy.
Okay.
Right, he had the rights first.
Okay.
Now his early release now is based on he got a time cut based upon the new law.
Right.
I got that paperwork.
But that's what I'm saying.
He got
so
out right now for a
so
time
it's not
cut.
for saying nothing. This is the system.
But they questioning it for whatever reason.
But probably about 2017, 18, you were hearing Meech coming home early. That was when all that was going on. So the attempt was made, and what they say happened, right? With the third party cooperation for him. They got the document in the paperwork with the Tammy chick where she's saying that she was third party cooperating to get him a time cut. But she ended up having sex with the F-Fed dude.
So that's
which got Cuffy convicted, but then they took the time cut off the table.
I mean, with something like that, don't they got to throw everything out?
That's out. That's out.
It was a whole lot of work. So you know when
That's a huge conflict of
when they're
interest.
saying she's working for you to line him up to get the time cut, and this is your man, right?
How do you know all this, Wack?
Paperwork. They sent it to
Do
me.
you know all this?
They sent me everything.
He's an avid reader, right?
They sent it to me, right? So he got and if you go to Cam Capone's interview, Cuffy's live talking about it, the guy that's in the feds right now.
Right.
And that was his man. Like they was, they said when the Meech Cuffy connection came, right? Cuffy's what took Meech to that next level.
I
Real
wonder if they're
money.
gonna tell all of this in the show.
No,
And this is why
hell
it'd be,
no.
but
you don't
that's
think they're
why.
gonna get to? I mean, season 5,
That's why
6.
Blue Da Vinci and Cuffy need to come together and do their show.
But they ain't gonna have. They don't got 50. They gonna need somebody to get
That
them
ain't
in there.
And that's one thing I would say is like the idea of Boosie having his own platform, sure. But I do feel like there's a reason why VladTV has been so successful, and there's something
Because
about
he's white.
that's part of it. Okay, sure. But like you need somebody with a real business mind. We've seen a lot of people try to create.
Boosie is a great businessman.
But also Boosie on his own platform, all those mixy ass questions that Vlad, part of their agreement is basically like, listen, I know you don't want to talk about this, but let me get 4 or 5 minutes of you talking about this because the clip's going to get 1 million views.
All he has to do
Boosie's
is
just
get
going to turn it all
some
down.
great producers.
Yeah. It's possible.
Question.
Possible, for sure.
Has he been on me? Vlad is saying how great friends you guys were. He
Back
told
in
me
the
what he
day.
thinks he did, right?
Yeah.
And he wants to know, can I get you two on the three-way? Because he wants to talk about it.
What was the fault?
He got a problem with me.
No, he's telling me, no. He's telling me, Wack, that was my guy. This happened. I think this happened. I might have said this. And when he got to a situation,
I mean,
that
it's
he just wants to know, Wack, can you get
I
me?
ain't got no problem with nobody. Just like you said earlier, I don't have a problem with nobody. He was waving the Nick Cannon flag real.
Wait, what time was this? Was this after the Farrakhan
when
thing?
he
or
got
what?
to a
like during
situation.
when I got canceled.
Okay.
The cancellation.
And
Yeah.
somebody you think is your man that's gonna hold you down.
I
is
jumped
doing,
out the window.
and doing interviews against you. I'm like,
Oh, okay.
and during that time, I just started paying attention to everybody. And there was some people that held me there. Some people didn't say shit, which I respect that. And then some people spoke out against me, and I was like, "Yo,
It's like you getting into
you
something.
didn't have to say
That's like
shit."
you getting into something,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And
Right.
you look up and you see me running the content against you. You like, yo, Wack,
You're
what
on
you
Piers
doing?
Morgan like,
Yeah.
well, see the thing about Adam.
Like when the whole world's already shooting at me, and it's like Don Lemon got
That's
at me,
one of the hardest
and I
things
was
to
like,
get
"You supposed
over."
Be my man.
Oh, Don Lemon went in too.
Went crazy on me, like
Really?
everybody, because it was the biggest story of that
Let me
week.
ask you though, Nick.
That was a big
you
thing.
were you've always been so massively successful and all that.
Yeah.
Was there a moment during all that where you were kind of like, I don't know if I'm gonna come back from this,
Not
or did you
really.
kind of always knew? Like,
I went to a spiritual place because I was like, look, I know I'm a good person. I know I wasn't trying to talk hate speech or be anti-Semitic or any of that stuff. So I was like, I know I'm gonna have to just be me, and it's gonna play itself out. Like now, I literally have a podcast with the CEO of the ADL. Like,
Right,
like
right,
it's
right.
just like knowing. I probably do like have done more research specifically on the subject because I was really trying to understand, like, yo, what the is going on and all of the conspiracy theories and all that shit. So I went to work. You know what I
Right.
mean? I literally even created like council culture and all that stuff. It was like cancel culture. We gonna counsel. We was having meetings and all of this shit.
Bars.
And then it's actually paid off for me in that sense of like being a good person. But they tried, like everybody tried to disassociate themselves with me, and literally they tried to take all my shows away. They tried to take all
kind
that
of
shit.
stuff.
It was like,
But
Not whack.
that same
I jumped out the window.
That
Yeah,
same
yeah,
playbook that they ran on you, though, I
Yeah.
feel like is way less effective now because now you have Aiden Ross, the biggest fucking streamer in the world, platforming Nick Fuentes, and nobody has shit to say about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, all that shit means nothing. Just like they was tripping on you for interviewing those dudes.
Yep.
It's the same. But honestly, as a part Jew, me, Frack, and Kosher Dills co-signed
Yeah,
Nick
yeah, yeah,
Cannon.
they had my
and we
back.
don't give a fuck. You feel me? So the Jews are like, Josh Manheim too, wherever he at. Throw him in the mix.
but
yeah.
that's the thing. Like at the end of the day, that's the beauty of cats like us. That when you just live your life out in the open and you don't stop, you can't be canceled because unless you on some shit, like and your karma gets on trial,
But, okay.
then you destroy yourself. But if you really just a good person, we all gonna say some dumb shit that everybody don't agree with at some point.